Hey, Vince.
Up low.
Why did the pedal cross the road?
Why did the pedal cross the road?
Because Josh Scott stole its box.
He stole the box. I am so goddamn poor. Nothing gets me up anymore. I am so old and jaded. Overblown and overrated. So give me all your stuff. Give me all your stuff. Everything is never enough. Give me all your stuff. Give me all your stuff. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. I want your stuff.
He stole the box.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's tropey. People find it. Welcome to the Pedalboard Podcast. We are your hosts, Vince DiGioia and myself, Lowell-George Granath. This is the venerable, triumphant debut episode of the Pedalboard Podcast, the podcast where jaded gear junkies scrounge and scrape for their next fix. I am definitely among them. How about you, Vince?
I think I might be the worst one, honestly.
Doubtful. Seriously, like I thought I was bad, and then I met a guy last night, way worse.
How bad?
500 series synth stuff. I mean, like that's like the deepest,
Really?
darkest hole you can fall down.
See, I can't get into it. Like it's just I don't know. It just looks too complicated. It probably isn't that bad, but
It's a dark hole. I mean, I like synth stuff. Everyone knows this except for you, apparently, because you just are like, oh yeah, you're a metal guy, right?
well, that's all I've ever heard from you.
Sad. we'll really need that soon. What about this?
I mean, how about that intro music though?
Yeah, how about that animation? I'll stop with the drum machine. I just got it yesterday, so I can't like stop putting it down.
It's perfectly cheesy.
Hey, so as we said, this is a podcast where we're gonna discuss our gear obsession, things like maybe trends that we understand. This channel, in fact, is gonna just be full of tropey guitar stuff, left and right, probably some synthesizer stuff and whatever. There's gonna be puppets, I hear. You got a variety show that's coming.
Yeah.
We have another segment we're going to call Pedalboard 911, where we come and rescue pedalboards that need help.
There are a lot of them.
And a variety of other things, including this podcast. So thank you for listening to our debut episode. This has been Pedalboard. I'm kidding. Sorry,
See
Vince.
you, folks.
Yeah, it's been, I'm rocking a slight hangover. So basically, one of the things that I wanted to discuss on the debut episode that I felt was prevalent to this podcast and just the subject matter in general is that I was going to declare a fact, and you can either agree or you can go away. This is what I put this to you. I state boldly that we are living in the golden age of guitar gear. Retort.
100%.
Okay, good. I thought we were gonna have to like totally just flush all this down the toilet. It's just like now, I'm a little bit older than you, but we've kind of, in our maturity have like lived through the change. And by the change, I mean like the rise of the VST, the rise of the digital modeler. I can remember when the pod came out, the little pod bean. That blew my mind.
Micro one?
No, the regular one.
Okay.
I remember when that came out. I still got one of those.
Yep.
Because I think
I got mine in my closet.
Blew my mind. Mind blown. Just like
I was using it 2-3 years ago.
I have the Rack Mount Pro. And I have the bass one too, which I use quite often because it's simple. Yeah. And I'm a simple creature. I like, like dudes like Jack White and stuff will say that, like ease is ease of use is the enemy of creativity. I disagree.
No, yeah,
Like
no, I disagree
speed.
too.
I love speed. I
Yes.
love to be able to just bang, bang, bang because my
Mhm.
ideas come fast. And the faster I can get them down, it's like when I write a song, it takes me 5 minutes because it comes on me. That sounded bad. It thrusts itself. That sounds bad too.
It forces itself on you.
That's not much better. At least I wasn't being rapey. No, it just comes to me
Not
so
rapey, you're doing it wrong.
it, it pours itself. That doesn't work. Damn it. It comes to me so quick. It's like in a wave just crashing on me. That is a non-dirty metaphor. And I just have to like get it down as fast. I like literally write stuff down as fast as my hand will allow. So it's just I just love how quick it can be. And recording.
It's kind of a matter of like the ease of use versus options. Because like something like the new Line 6 stuff, compared to the old pods, like you can do a million different things with them. There's 3 times more amp modeling and stuff. So you have a million things to do, but it does take twice as long to dial everything in. So it really depends on what you're looking for.
I believe in presets. I believe in creating my own presets. So you spend the time at the beginning, or every time you do a project, I use a lot of VSTs right now. I am actually considering buying a Helix because I love Line 6 stuff. I absolutely do. You can say what you want about it, but I mean, like,
it's come a long way.
Yeah. I mean, the original pods, I mean, the dirty tones were garbage, but the clean tones were absolutely great. And it was just like, bang, good clean tone. Let's hit that button.
There's that old Line 6 like thrash sound or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
It was just awful.
They based an amp line off of it, and that was a mistake.
Yeah. No,
but it was
didn't do that well.
It was a profitable mistake. It was the metal zone of mistakes because it like people bought them up like you would not believe, and still do. And I do believe that the Line 6 Spider, as much as people hate on it, is actually a pretty decent like beginner amp because it just gives you a lot of sounds at your fingertips.
It has a ton of the presets built in. Like I was almost going to buy one for my first amp, and it had like a ton of like the just classic rock songs dialed in. It was simple, definitely a beginner thing. I mean, definitely not something I'd use nowadays for sure, but
I bought my dentist and friend for Christmas. I got him, he's been super cool. So I wanted to get him something super cool for Christmas. So I got him a Spark. Okay. On the Positive Grip Sparks. That thing's awesome.
I haven't actually gotten a chance to play with one. I've seen them around, but
I this is the thing. Okay. I can see, like, your point is well taken, is that I can see that the amount of options can be overwhelming. What I really believe, though, is it depends on your creative process.
Yeah.
For me, with the speed to which comes, because all the demo songs I've sent you, that's like I spent maybe 2 minutes writing those. As long as it took me to play them, because I'll just jam and I'll hit it and I'll be like, oh, cool. And then I'll be like, okay, cool. Got to like figure out what the tempo is, nail that sucker up, get the guitar part just at least like tropically down, and then build the rest of the track around it. Cause I like to record the final guitar part, as we know, in front of a camera, for the internet. But like, I'll just do the BPM, find a good beat. I use Superior Drummer 3, which is another revelation. Take that drum scum. I
use Easy Drummer. I haven't gotten the Superior Drummer yet.
I used Easy Drummer too, but like I made the leap, and
how much better?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay.
Easy Drummer is also fantastic. So, but I just wanted to have like superb editability. That's it. Okay. Ding 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 ding. To edit drums. That's another great thing about the thing for a guitar player. For me, as a guitar player, because that's what I am first and foremost. I do lots of vocal work and stuff, but guitar playing is like, if I'd all had to go, and they're like, you can have one, I would be like, guitar, please, thank you. It's so great to have a real sounding drummer to play to. But even as now I will play to like even this. I used to, back in the day, my dad had like a crappy drum machine, and I used to just play. See what I mean?
Play with what you got.
I'm just gonna sneak it in. And there was a drum machine on like a crappy keyboard that we had, and I would just, that it was cool. because I feel more inspired when I write to a drummer.
Mhm.
But
it gives you a base to write to.
Well, it gives the energy, that
Mhm.
for me, it's like I feel like I'm an energy vampire sometimes, where it's just
Mhm.
like, and it's not like that I suck the energy out of people. It's just that when I suck the energy out of the air, like I just and I'm trying to trap lightning in a bottle, and all this technology for my brain and my creative process makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
It's like lightning, because I save presets. I take the time. If I find a sound that I like in like my VST collection and I get it all dialed in, I save that in my DAW, that as a preset, so that I don't have to find that sound again. Because more often than not, I will go right back to that sound and maybe just slightly tweak it to just fit whatever I'm doing. But because I get like, as far as guitar tones go, I get kind of locked into a certain set of amplifiers. I think right now I'm using the ML Soundloud's Plexi that they just came out with, and because Plexi is my jam, and
Can't go wrong.
It sounds great, and it's got presets built within it. But ML Sound Labs is kind of my VST jam too. I know there's like Neural DSP. I've played around with that a little bit, but gosh, I think Neural DSP is above my pay grade. Is really what goes up.
No, I completely agree. I want to dive into it. Like they have the Corey Wong one that I'm in love with, but I haven't dove into it yet. But it definitely seems like I feel like it deserves more time than I'm wanting to give it right now.
Fair. Yeah. It's just, for me, I love the ML Sound Lab stuff because it's so quick. I got the Gojira pack from Neural DSP, but man, it's like I said, it's just above my pay grade. So kudos to those guys that use Neural DSP. I've heard it. It sounds great. I just can't figure it out. I'm like, I feel like a caveman with a rock. You're like, right. It's beyond me, which I'm, in my old age, I'm willing to admit that things are beyond me, and I'm not going to waste time on trying to be cool. I'm not going to waste time trying to be cool. Listen, kids, like, no. No, this is the thing, dude. When you're young, being cool is this thing that you have to strive for and like work for. Dude, seriously, just forget it.
I'm like, over that, man.
Yeah, you'll be so much happier and more content with yourself if you just worry about being you and just being a cool you. Life advice from Pedalboard Podcast.
Yeah, right? If you don't like me, well, fuck off.
Please make checks out to Cash. I'd use that joke too much. I should probably lay off it, but it's the debut episode. I want to sneak it in there and then undercut it immediately afterwards. So one of the things that we're going to do on this podcast is we're going to have weekly segments. So I want to kick off the first weekly segment here at about 1/3 of the way through the podcast. I changed the name on Vince because I didn't like the name originally. So I came up with one off the cuff and I did it anyway. I hope he's prepared.
Bring it on me.
Welcome to Sound Toy Highlight of the Week.
Paddle time, do-dee-do-dee-do. Paddle time, brought from me to you.
That's my 1930s radio announcer voice.
Jesus.
So, since I kicked it off this time, Vince, what is your sound toy of the week?
I didn't grab it. Let me grab it real quick.
Oh, he's not prepared. Nailed it. Oh, he's got earbuds.
Okay.
He's got earbuds in. Oh, he's got his in-ear monitors in. What a guy. I got to get some of those, actually. Oh, gosh, look at him go. Look at his little Superman curl going on there.
Shut up, guy.
I rip and
don't
fun.
like my fucking curls, dude. It's doing my hair every morning is such a fucking chore.
Yeah, dude. I got like kind of curly hair. You just got to embrace it.
It's annoying because my hairline's clearly receding. So I'm trying to grow my shit out and eventually cover it up, but
don't comb over. It's a mistake.
I know that's what I'm trying not to do. So I like push it back a little bit, but then it exposes the receding hairline and my hair's stupid curly. So I have to put a shit ton of gel in it for it to.
Dude, it looks good. Just rock it, man. Just, like,
no, I fucking hate it, dude. It's so annoying.
You got to own. Okay, so now we're touching on Vince's insecurities. Welcome.
Oh, shut up, man.
Welcome. You're doing it. I'm not doing it. You like totally took off. Like I kind of threw one Superman curl jab at you, and then you were just like, oh my god.
No, because every day I look in the mirror and I'm like, fucking hair. It genuinely pisses me off every morning because I'll wake up and my hair is all fucking crazy, and like I have to put product in it to maintain any sort of normal look to it, and then the second it dries, it's curly as shit and it's annoying.
My hairline receded slightly. This used to be this. It's not going anywhere, dude. I come from hairy people, and
yeah, me too.
My grandfather on my mom's side, which I guess is who you get your hereditary hair from, had a full head of hair like up until the end. Big
so
white.
You know, for me, from the neck up, it's the Italian side on my dad's side. From the neck down, I am completely covered everywhere but my back, thankfully, and that's all from my mother's side, the Puerto Ricans.
Oh, your mom's hairy.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Mama sass.
Yeah, just a little.
All right, so quit stalling and tell me what is your sound toy highlight of the week.
Paddle time, do 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 do. Paddle time, brought from me to you.
Breathe.
We're gonna have an animation for that.
Yeah, dude. I just had a placeholder.
So Donnie over at Solo Dallas Effects sent me this shaper replica. Ooh. This is one of two. This is the Storm version. It's got a little bit more mid-range than the original, but I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No, I haven't. Explain.
So back in the 70s, engineer named Ken Schaefer, dude is like a crazy inventor, but he designed the first like legitimate wireless guitar system. It was called the Schaefer Vega Diversity System, and that became the core sound for like Angus Young of AC/DC, and that was like his guitar tone was because of that, and paired with his Marshall JCM 50s. But the dude that founded Solo Dallas, Phil, he came across that wireless system and then recreated it like 7 years ago in a new model. And then they made it into a couple different pedal forms. And not a lot of people know this pedal, but John Mayer's been using it for the last like 2 years. He kind of...
Your body is a wonderland. That guy?
Don't go there.
No, actually, he's been kind of ripping the Guitar Hero circuit up pretty hard. So yeah, fair is fair.
No, it's a great pedal. I worked on a video for them, and just playing through this thing. It's more of a preamp sort of thing, but the range of sound on this is really incredible. It's got like built-in limiter and everything, and it can definitely get pretty squashy. But it's kind of a sleeper pedal in my opinion. Not a lot of people know about it, but it needs to be more well known personally. So definitely
I'm intrigued. You had me at Angus Young.
I'll send this over to you. You can try it out.
Yeah, dude, I would absolutely love to. That sounds awesome.
It's definitely worth it. It's not like any other like overdrive that I've played before. So
I actually use I have a Shure GLX system, wireless system I use for my guitar, that actually is part of my tone now because I use it. I boost it by about 10 dB off of the wireless unit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm actually living that life already. Because I found it lacking when I would go just like when I'd hang out with friends or something or at practice, and I would not use the wireless unit. I would just plug in. I was like, man, I just lost a bunch of pump, and I didn't realize that I had it. Like I didn't know that I had it boosted to 10 dB coming off of the wireless unit into the amp.
Sense. Well, with the wireless units, typically you lose probably a little bit of top end and some of the low mid frequencies. I don't know. I've never messed with the Shure ones though, so I don't know exactly.
You don't lose a lot. You don't lose a lot.
So with the boost, then you're probably gaining a little bit of that back,
and then some.
Yeah,
it's good. It sounds good. I like it. People are always like, "You're using your wireless unit at a jam." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I am," because I'm gonna go grab a beer. And I don't have to
exactly.
Stop. And you guys are gonna be stuck tethered up here like a bunch of cavemen.
I have an old Audio-Technica unit that I'm still using. I've had that for like.
Dude, there's nothing wrong. If it works, it works. I just like. Yeah. I used to be like the cable purist.
That should be. No, that was me for a while.
That should be I'm writing that down. Sorry, we're kind of formulating this as we go. That's a character, the cable purist.
That sounds like a puppet.
I know, that's what's up. Or just the guy that runs up to your gigs. You're not using a cable. Cable tone is best. That's his voice. See, I'm developing right now. We are developing characters in front of a live, non-existent studio audience.
Oh
To
my
the
God,
10
you're
of
not
you,
using analog.
to the
Fuck that
10
guy.
of you that are listening, help.
Those 10 people matter. Okay.
Okay, so now it is my turn for my sound toy highlight of the week.
Paddle time, do dee do dee do. Paddle time, brought from me to you.
Mine, I've done some videos on it for PBOD. I was around for the formulation of it. It's by my good friend who's also part of our channel. You'll be seeing and meeting him, Mr. Brandon Schock. It is one of his pedals. It is called the Ocean Man.
Looks interesting. I like the design on that.
This design was done by a gentleman named Michael McLennan, but his handle is at Moon Toboggan.
Moon Toboggan. Okay.
Yeah, he does. I've talked to him several times, and he does a lot of art for me. And I love his art. I love this pedal. It has 3 different modes. It has a tide mode, a bottom mode, and a wash mode.
Like a reverb,
chorus, and among other things. It's got some delay. It's multi-effect for all intents and purposes. My favorite, though, the one we'll discuss right now, is the bottom mode, where it's a very ambient kind of delay reverb, an octave, very pronounced octave down, and you can adjust the latency of that octave down. So you can adjust it to where you hit the octave down, and then that
like a pre-delay.
But no, but like after, where it comes late.
Okay.
Like a surly dinner guest. You know what I mean? But it sounds like I was finding that I could make very cello orchestra-esque sounds with this setting.
Okay.
That sound like they're at the bottom of the ocean.
So can you use, I guess, the delay and reverb sort of thing with the chorus in a way?
Yes.
Okay.
There's auxiliary controls where, like, if you have the trim mode on, you can hold this and the trim mode goes away, and then you let it go and it immediately comes back. You can also use this in like the bottom mode to, like, I don't know. I'm probably totally butchering these details, but it's got a lot of cool, interesting features. And it's also at the very bottom, you've got the wash, which is a glitch chorus.
Glitch chorus. Okay.
So that the repeats detune themselves. The pitch and the repeats is distorted.
Kind of like a lo-fi sort of thing.
Yes, in a very hi-fi way.
Okay.
No, I actually have talked to Brandon about making me just the bottom mode in a pedal, because I want to use the glitch chorus and the bottom mode at the same time, because I think it sounds amazing. I did it in a recording, but this is going immediately on my pedal board. I'm replacing my Mr. Black solid state echo chamber. Sorry, Mr. Black solid state echo chamber.
It's a great delay, but
I'm also replacing my afterneath. Sadly, it does not play well with my EVH. I'm replacing it with Brandon's yellow sign chorus or yellow sign delay, because it's just a warm delay that I really latched onto. And then I'm going to replace my solid state echo chamber with this. I tend to kind of like, there's a section of my board, you know, the section, it's the left hand section. That's like the swap out section.
Yep.
Like
on the riser there.
Yeah. And then even below it on some of those pedals, because there's mainstays on my pedal board. The mainstays are obviously like the whammy. There's a wah. Any given, I don't really care what wah. I'm not particular. A Dynacomp. You like to have a compressor on there. I actually use that compressor as like a clean boost when I need some real jangly clean stuff. I have the TS-808, the Big Muff, the Russian Big Muff. Those are like mainstays. Like if I just had like to shrink it down and I could only have like 2, it would actually just shrink down to the Digitech Whammy and the Russian Big Muff. I can do everything I can do with that.
Honestly, that it sounded pretty fucking good.
That's my jam. But like I love, just to kind of bring it back around, I love the era of pedals that we're living in. Speaking of golden age, these are the salad days of pedals. Like there's so much cool stuff coming out down the pipe. The prices are getting competitive, but I really feel like there's a cool pedal in whatever your budget is. You know, some guys like to spend more.
Great pedals for less than $100, honestly.
Yes. I actually found one that I kind of dig. It's super cheap. It is let's see here, by Colleen Effects. This was like $30. It's the
I've seen that before.
It's the Ghost Rain delay.
Yep.
It's the reverb delay.
Is that an Amazon pedal?
Yes, it's actually quite good. I enjoyed it. I bought it just randomly, right? Like I just randomly was like, oh, cool. Sometimes I'll just look around for cool stuff, and occasionally you find it. But in the land of VSTs, sometimes it's cool. Like I use a combination of both a lot of times, where I keep pedals, I pump pedals into my interface and then use the VST as the amp. My name is Lowell-George Granath of the Pedalboard Podcast, where jaded gear junkies Jones for the next fix. As an internet provocateur, philanthropist, gonzo journalist, and amateur podiatrist, I am always searching for a podcast that tickles my fancy in just the right way. Are you searching for that too? So take a moment from your day drinking and join us. Listening to the Pedalboard Podcast side effects include, but are not limited to, unmitigated joy, retail therapy, shortness of breath, mumps, binge spending, losing your shoes, rumbly tummy, divorce, flight ability, limp lip, horse sprinting, questionable decision-making, sports, club foot, club soda, hearing voices, crushing debt, spine manipulation, irritable bowels, playful secrets, dangling, reverse dangling, danger dangling, and brain powers. If you experience any of these symptoms while consuming the Pedalboard Podcast, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Right? So...
Okay.
And then have a speaker cab simulator and stuff like that. But you could do a lot of it just right in your computer.
Yeah.
I
was doing that for a while. I was using the Amplitude 4, which has a
Amplitude's cool.
Ton of God damn it, fantastic amp sims. But I've started moving over toward more of the hardware side, like with the Helix rack, just to cut down on the processing power on the computer. But
that's where I'm moving to.
Yeah. But just like having the knobs to tweak is a little bit more fun for me. So, and then plus you have HX Edit to just do everything on the computer, and it controls the unit here. But I mean, I honestly, most of the time I record, I'm using some sort of amp simulator.
No, fair. I can tell you though, I'm going down the same route, is to get like some kind of outboard thing. I've had an Axe Effects before, and it was really cool. But Line 6 is definitely a little bit more my speed. Once again, I feel that's my pay grade. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's like
it's not terribly hard to use, honestly. Like there's a ton of features, but it's not a difficult user interface.
As far as like being a tone aficionado, I'm like a sergeant. You know what I mean? Like I'm a working man. I'm a working man. You know what I mean? Don't call me sir. I work for a living.
Is definitely more like captain level.
Yeah, that's like brass level. You know what I mean? Yep. Like I'm working man. You know what I mean? I totally stole all that from my father. Father's a Marine. That's why I can kind of relate to you with some degree with your, especially with your jokes. Like I see sometimes online you put like some military jokes. The last one you put up was pretty funny. I laughed.
And it's definitely more like when I share that type of stuff, it's definitely more for my military focused friends.
Well, I'm not military focused.
Well, you understand it at least.
I grew up in it. You know what I mean? I grew up in it. So now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have another segment. Oh, no. 2 segments in one podcast, yo. So get your gear grinders going. I just made that up. I don't even know
grinders. We'll work on that later.
Sometimes I just slap words together and it doesn't always work out. But anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna go real Orson Welles on you here real quick. Today We share something that pissed our wives off. I'll go first this time because you went first last time. I am currently buying a house. I'm selling this house. As you can see, usually this thing is decked out with pedals and you got cables. I've got a few things that I need for demo videos. Like I got my eight string. Bang. The bass, because I got to have that. I got my Ebenezer right here because it's the most versatile of guitars that I got. You know, I can do anything with it. I love this guitar, dude, by the way. Ibanez.
What is it?
It's an Ibanez S570, I think.
Okay.
But I put Gibson humbuckers in it. It's got burst bucker 1 and a burst bucker 3. No, it's cool. It puts it right into the realm of things that I like. And
yeah, my first guitar was an Ibanez RG 350DX. It was like very similar to the Steve Vai model, but it didn't have the handle.
You didn't have the monkey grip?
No, didn't.
Get rid of that thing.
And considering the style I play, I don't know why the hell I bought an Ibanez. But it was a good guitar.
They're versatile. Dude, I don't really shred per se. I guess I do. I really guess I do. For not being like a turbo metal guy,
Yeah.
I play metal pretty good. But I like that. It's a shreddy neck. It feels nice. But I can also pull Strat sounds out of it. I got a coil tap on there, so I can like swap them down to single coils. I can do the out of phase little quacky Strat position without having to deal with the bullshit of a Strat. I love Strats. I love Strats. Don't get me wrong, but there is a fair amount of bullshit that comes along with a Strat.
Yeah,
Same
but
with
it's worth it.
No, it's the sound. It is the sound. I'm not even backpedaling here, man, dude. I'm just saying there's bullshit that comes to the Strat. You Strat players know it. You know it.
Yeah,
like,
no, there is. It is.
It's like there's bullshit that comes along with us Les Paul. You Les Paul players know it. I play Les Pauls 9 times out of 10, and I am fully aware of the bullshit that comes along with a Les Paul. It doesn't matter. I don't think the perfect guitar's ever been made. It's been close, but I really feel like I have put the nail on the head, and I found I'm going to debut something. But before we do that, we're moving. So what has pissed my wife off is just the bullshit and rigmarole of selling a house and buying a house at the same time. It's pissed me off too, dude. I had like a stress.
What I've heard, that's a fucking nightmare.
I had sometimes when I get stressed out, I get really distant and my hands shakes a little bit, like just this one. And it happened the other day. So she went and got me cookie dough blizzard. And all things were made right.
He knows your vice.
No, it's rare. It's rare that I want ice cream, but like, I mean, I was just like, I feel like shit. Yeah, she's like, well, what would make you feel better? Because we've been kind of like doing that where one of us slips and the other one kind of like tries to cheer him up, and then you know, vice versa, because we have a very, very healthy relationship. But we have to. One of the really crappy things that we didn't know. It's always where you're not looking.
Yeah, of course.
When the inspection came back, we have to re-roof the house we are selling.
Oh shit.
So yeah, we had to take care of that. So that's what pissed my wife off. So it wasn't gear related, though. Normally, she's super cool. If I'm gonna be real, she's super cool about me getting gear stuff. Of course, she also sees the correlation between me getting that and like turning it into something, you know, that is actually tangible. But yeah, I'm going to debut something. Remember, I don't know if you've watched the segments that I've made earlier, but the ugly guitar beautiful.
I don't think I have. Oh, geez. What the hell is that?
I made this.
You made that.
No, we found a guitar in the dumpster and I turned it into this.
What the hell? All right. You got to give me the story behind that.
A friend of mine found this in a dumpster and gave it to me. It was called a Marina, had a really weird headstock. I obviously altered this some to accommodate the headless bridge. It's actually a Trem. I just have it locked in place right now.
Okay.
And then I painted it pink and I cut the head off because I like headless guitars.
Wow. All right.
It's all right. It's cool.
Marina. All right. So the cutaway next to the bridge, was that already there, and then you just kind of adjusted it a bit, or?
It was there slightly, but I had to cut about 2 inches off it because it actually hooked around.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's Ugly Guitar Beautiful. I'll be making a video at some point soon, playing a thing. I put Gibson 500T humbuckers in it, so it's just sound pretty rad. Like it's gonna sound good. I even put rainbow caps in there, like real rainbow caps, because I have a bag full of them.
That thing is definitely like a face only a mother could love sort of thing.
Oh yeah, but many people on the internet would disagree with you there.
And I'm not a huge fan of the headless guitars personally.
Well,
I'm a bit more of a traditionalist.
You probably will. Yeah, you say traditionalist. I just kind of feel like more elitist. You love that, you hate things that are universally loved. Like I bet you hate Disney movies.
No. So more modern Disney movies, yeah. Like I prefer a lot of the older ones personally.
See, now you're just being a traditionalist.
I'm
like, oh, back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day when things were good. Golden age, dude. We're living in the golden age. We talked about this.
We're living in the golden age of gear, yes. But in terms of everything else,
Oh, that's another podcast, dude. That's another podcast. We'll go deep. We're gonna go hard and deep into that. I'm writing it down.
All right.
Like, that means I won't forget it. Because this is
I can have a 3-hour conversation on this.
This is my brain.
Right, handy dandy notebook.
Dude, I'm a notebook guy. Like I take notes. That's why I don't forget shit. I still forget shit, but I forget less because of the notebook. All right. So quit stalling and tell me what has pissed your wife off.
So this is pretty much an every week thing, but running Vagabond Audio, I'm constantly having packages come in, working with various pedal companies and working on demos and stuff. There's always a pedal in the mail. So at least once or twice a day, UPS or FedEx is knocking on my door for me to sign for a package. And every time the dogs go crazy, every time the doorbell rings and my wife,
can you hear me knocking?
So like every time I'll go outside, I'll grab the package, I'll come in, and I'm usually carrying 2 or 3 boxes at a time. And my wife always just gives me the shittiest look. And you usually ask me, oh, what did you get me this time? And it's always obviously a piece of gear. So I did, and I shared this with you before, but being that I'm constantly getting packages in, like occasionally I'll throw in, a little thing off of Amazon for her. And it sounds terribly shitty. I know this sounds like, but I bought her a mop off of Amazon.
We talked about this. It's like buying her a squatty potty or something.
Yeah. And again, I know what it sounds like, but she actually wanted it. She was begging me for it for like 2-3 weeks. And it was like some, mop that was on TikTok for a while, and it was like it's got the pedal on it. And
no,
like,
you explained it well to me. It was something that she was like wanted. So and it wasn't
like,
weird.
She'll find these like random things on TikTok, like a mop, and then there was like this like Bissell green machine that's supposed to like carpet clean your car and the couches and shit. So I almost bought that for her too. It's like these things that you probably shouldn't buy your wife, but she wanted them, so whatever. So like occasionally I'll sneak in a little thing from Amazon for her, so that way it's like, hey, I'm thinking of you.
I bought my wife a N64 controller, a Retrocon one. It's when how they have the crappy joysticks on the original ones. This one, they took the joystick from the GameCube and put it on an N64 controller.
Okay,
significant improvement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're our new house. I'm gonna start doing a lot of like live demos and stuff too, because I have a full, very large daylight basement that I'm turning into a full-on shooting studio and rehearsal space. They can be the same.
Honestly, that'll be pretty damn nice.
No, it's gonna be nice because this room looks bigger than it is. This room is like
a shoebox.
Yeah, it's like literally 6 feet, 7 feet from here to here, and maybe 10 feet from here to here.
That's what I was working on it for a while. When I was stationed in Italy, I was pretty much in a broom closet.
Nice.
No, I get it. It sucks.
So, I mean, flesh your space out. That doesn't sound very good either. I'm a little tired, folks. So that's been our segment of something that pissed your wife off. With me, it was just home stuff. It's rarely gear stuff. We're gonna actually go pick up a dresser later today because we're buying a house. Like we're doing the whole moving rigmarole. That's why there's boxes everywhere, and I'm packing things up.
It's a massive pain in the ass. Like we bought our house when I was in Italy, so we had to do everything remotely, and like we didn't see the house in person until we moved in, and it was a process.
How did that go?
Honestly, it went way better than expected. Our real estate agent was fantastic. She was super helpful and accommodating, and would do like a video walkthrough of all the houses and tell us about the neighborhood. And
she gets paid very well for that, so don't.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah,
don't give her too much credit.
she was just really nice and so helpful about it. So it honestly was a way better experience than I could have hoped for.
Our real estate agent is awesome too. Like she's doing good work.
Like from just being halfway across the world, like buying a freaking house, like it was definitely a daunting experience, but again, was way better than I anticipated.
So to do just kind of cap this debut breathtaking first episode of the Pedalboard podcast, I kind of want to give people a reference point. I want to throw a flag in the sand. So, because when people listen to these podcasts, they're going to listen to this one like first, people tend to go back to the beginning and then burn their way through. One of the things I want to give them is reference point, like we're going to bury a time capsule right in this episode and just kind of give people like, so they can see where we're at now. And then like 10 years from now, they can be like, oh my God, these guys are nuts. They haven't changed at all.
You can see the mental deterioration happening over time.
Like, what? So this is the question. What is your current gear obsession? I'll answer it too. Go. Like sum it up nice and tight for the people.
Honestly, that Vox AC15 right there.
That's your gear obsession right now.
Yeah, so I've never owned a Vox up until like a month ago. And I plugged into that thing for the first time about 2 weeks ago, and I have not stopped playing it. I don't know what it is about that amp, but I am in love with that amp. I'm huge into Marshalls. Like my Silver Jubilee back there is my main amp. I have not played that thing since I bought that box. Not to say that's not a great amp, but I am in love with that thing now.
Nice.
So right now I am definitely obsessed with that.
I am slipping slowly but surely into a synth paradise.
Oh, that's a deep dark hole.
No. I actually already have the synthesizers. It's just kind of like one of the things I like to do is take guitar effects and run them through synthesizers, and it just adds like like even what I mean. Like it just like I can just. I love drum machines, synthesize. I can do whatever I want, and like I just love to do this kind of stuff, and it's just fun. And I feel myself slipping. Like there's a few pieces of synth gear, nothing crazy, that I definitely want to pick up. And it's mainly like sequencer based stuff because I love John Carpenter and I want to do like John Carpenter stuff or just do cool synth music. You know what I mean? Like,
are you running any like Eurorex or?
No, hell no. That's once again above my pay grade.
All right, yeah, that's.
I actually was
like.
I was at a party talking to a dude who does a lot. He doesn't use Eurorack, but he uses like a lot of 500 series stuff. And he's got a lot of vintage synthesizers and stuff. And I'm just like, that's just a dark hole I'm not going down.
Yeah, no, and it's an expensive hole to go down. And I would love to just, for the sake of having it and learning all of that. But holy shit.
My needs are simple.
Yeah.
I just need a couple good drum machines, maybe a good sequencer or two.
Yep.
And a good synth. And I've got the good synth. I've got a original ARP MK2 Odyssey from the 70s. That I had completely refurbished, and it's a Jack Nasty synth. I would really like. Okay. So let's put it this way: if you really want to put the line in the sand, the marker, the flag stone, the marker stone, in the earth, it's I'm getting into Moog stuff. So that's
what I want so bad. I
want
to get
the dark hole
Moogs.
I'm falling down.
Yeah.
So if you want to use this reference, though, I imagine in a couple of years, if people check back in, it's not going to be any different. My sessions tend to be just like mind or sound altering things, which actually, weirdly enough, is not an old obsession. Like synthesizers and stuff obviously are, because I grew up with them as a kid. This first instrument I ever really played. But like my guitar pedal obsession didn't really start until about 4 years ago. I mean, I always liked guitar pedals, but never nearly to the degree that I am now, because I started working at a music store and I had access, like unmitigated access to guitar pedals. And then I started playing with them more because I had some downtime at work, you know, and then
once you go in, you don't come out.
Well, no, it was great. I was just like, I had a great time. And like, it's for me, you know me, it's like the crazier, the better. And I've just come across like so many cool things. Like I had never really got a chance. I played like an Earthquake or Hoof, and that was about it. Right. But then I played the Rainbow Machine, and the Rainbow Machine
completely different
is happiness bottled. It's like happiness lightning bottled in a candy jar.
It's one of those things, like it's fantastic to play through and have that experience, but how usable it is, I guess conventionally, not terribly.
I can use it. I love it.
For me, it's definitely more of like a pad sort of thing in the background. But I mean, it's a great pedal, don't get me wrong, and I'm probably gonna pick one up just to have it to mess with.
Oh, it's happiness. The Data Corruptor was another one. Like definitely I would say that Earthquaker is the brand that really threw me into the more strange and absurd.
They have a ton of great pedals, honestly. Like they've kind of run the gamut on pedals. Like they have everything on the spectrum. I
have many of them.
I don't think I've ever been disappointed by one of their pedals.
I have.
All right, which one?
Oh gosh. The Cloven Hoof was not a fan of.
Okay.
Of course, I have a Tone Reaper. So the Tone Reaper is a discontinued, very soul crushing fuzz.
They have the Hoof Reaper, right?
Yeah, that's cool. That's actually a super cool pedal. But I'm trying to remember what the Arpanoid. Disappointed with the Arpanoid. You know why? No tap tempo, no way to to cue that arpeggiator into a song. Now, this is a common complaint with that pedal. This is not a new one. I did recently.
They haven't done a new version of it with the tap tempo.
From what I have read, they don't plan to. Okay. But alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well. Yoshi Akimoto from Boss bought this bad boy. This has a sequencer, and if you use the FX foot switch, you have a tap tempo for the arpeggiator on this thing.
Okay, I need one.
It's stupid sick. I'm doing a video right now for this. It is momentous. I love this pedal.
I gotta get my hands on one. I've been wanting one.
Yeah, you cannot go wrong with Boss. I mean, they're a flag. You know, they're the flagship of modern compact pedals, and you can argue with me all day.
They've become underrated a bit because you have like all the the newer stuff. It's
the hipster mentality. Things that are things that are like popular are like hated upon.
Yeah,
it's like that.
And I've been using one of my first guitar pedals was a Boss. So it was a Boss DS2 turbo distortion, and most of the Boss pedals I've had, I've absolutely loved. I've always had one on my board.
Their quality, their tanks. I like the DD7 quite a bit.
That is my favorite delay.
Yeah, I like the DD. I also like the DD3 a lot too. I mean, I like Boss delays. The DS1 obviously is just. I used it for a while.
I did, yeah. I'm not proud of it, but yeah, no,
I am. I made some sick tones, dude. I was running that thing through a Marshall Plexi. Sounded great.
The only DS1 I've ever enjoyed was the it had the JHS synth mod in it, and it was definitely not a DS1 anymore, but it had some cool sounds in it. But every DS1 I played through was just not great.
I used a Metal Zone for a while.
Of course you did. That is the one Boss I never bought.
I just backed the like the fizz, the distortion was like not even on, and I used it as a mid punch and like a.
Okay,
let's just put it this way: like I'll give you the breakdown of Lowell at 19, or let's just say 21.
Okay,
21's guitar rig. Okay, are you ready?
Bring it on me.
MK2 JMP1.
Okay.
Little Marshall Plexi, right? And I had the channels jumped, as one does. That's a tasteful move. That's like a maturity move.
Yeah,
like people would think
that's
that
definitely late 20s, early 30s move.
Yeah, but you're like, that's like, tonally very good. Full stack.
Of course.
Gibson Les Paul. I had a white Gibson Les Paul Studio with the ebony fretboard.
Okay.
And I had a Vox wall, really nice Vox wall.
Like the original?
No, well, yeah, well, original to me. I bought it in the 90s. And a metal zone.
You're really making a case for yourself there.
It sounded good. I was playing in a punk rock band and it absolutely fit perfectly.
Were you at least using the distortion on the plexi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just using the metal zone as like just to give it a little bit of fizz and a little bit of crunch because I did a lot of palm muting because I was playing punk rock.
Yeah.
And it was Irish punk rock, no less.
What?
Well, my mom's family's Irish, so
Irish punk rock.
Yeah, it was band. The band was it was a good band. It was a good time.
Is there any footage from those days?
Yes, there's footage, and I will send you some music and stuff, and you can check it out.
Yeah, I need to hear that.
Yeah, it's fun. I have a gravelly voice, and it worked out. But anyways, I just wanted to thank everyone for listening to this debut episode of the Pedalboard Podcast, where jaded gear junkies try to get off, but they're so desensitized they can't anymore. So I can riff on that intro all the time. But anyways, thank you for listening. There will be a subsequent episode every week. So please, we're gonna have like a kind of a rotating host. Unbeknownst to our good friend Brandon Schock, he's going to be hosting some of these along with the very handsome and soft-spoken Vincent DiGioia.
Stop it, you.
I'm going into my NPR voice. So we would
thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Oh, I want to do a TED Talk. I have things to talk about. My 3 rules, my 3 life rules. We'll get into that later. But thank you for listening. Please listen to our subsequent episodes, like and subscribe, and because it helps us make more fun, pedal-oriented and gear-oriented content for you. So please like and subscribe. Check us out. Check out Vagabond Audio if you want to get your pedal board built. You want to get your pedal board did. That's what we're changing your thing to. Come get your pedal board did.
I'm doing it.
Vince built my pedal board. It's stunning. He's built many pedal boards. They are also stunning. It looks like it was it was the wires are put in a meticulous way like a serial killer. So just roll with that. It's very.
Why would you say that live? Now people know my secret.
Well, you do live in Texas. Please listen, like, and subscribe. I have been Lowell-George Granath.
Like been Vince DiGioia.
Jesus, that took forever. And you have been awesome.
It was breaking up. Sorry.
And you have been awesome. So remember, be fantastic always, guys. And we'll see you next time.